Hello, our students and listeners at home. You are welcome to today's teaching online, St. Charles College, Onitsha. I am Onyechi of the Department of Economics, St. Charles College, Onitsha. Today, we are going to look at the topic money. We are going to look at money as a topic. But before we continue, we are going to look at the specific objectives. Before we continue, we are going to look at the specific objectives. By the end of the lesson, you are expected to 1. Define money. 2. Define trade by barter. 3. Mention and explain at least 5 defects or problems of barter system of exchange. Having seen the specific of money, what is money? Money is anything that is generally acceptable in a given community as a means of payment for goods and services and for settlement of debts and other obligations. So, having seen the definition of money, let us look at the historical development of money. The historical development of money. The primitive man did not have or use money, yet he carried on production and exchange of goods and services. He did this by exchanging the goods and services which others produced and which he needed. This process of exchange of goods for goods is called barter system of exchange. The barter system of exchange was extremely inefficient, inconvenient, and defective. Meaning of barter system of exchange. Trade by barter is a system in which people directly exchange one commodity for another. In the past, people carried out their economic activities without money. The barter system, which is the exchanging goods for goods, was introduced. This process of direct exchange is known as trade by barter. This trade by barter has a lot of problems or disadvantages associated with it. In order to overcome the disadvantages or problems of barter system of exchange, so many commodities was introduced to serve as money. First, anything considered as the medium of exchange had to be something in common use that was generally acceptable and considered to be valuable for its own sake. However, in different times, so many commodities were chosen to serve as money. Such items include cowries, shells, salt, tobacco, leather, and so on and so forth. Meaning of barter system of exchange. For any commodity to be chosen to serve effectively as money, such commodity should be fairly durable, portable, and easily divisible. The above-mentioned commodities did not possess any of these qualities. Later, paper money emanated from the receipts given by the goldsmith in exchange for deposits of gold. This process continued until the modern-day money. Anything that must be generally acceptable must retain people's confidence, must be legal, tender, backed by law, and must also have a gold backing. So let us look at the defects, the problems of barter system of exchange. Let us look at their problems. Trade by barter has a lot of shortcomings or disadvantages or what you may call as the problems. And these problems include 1. Problem of double coincidence of wants. In this case, a producer has to find someone who has what he wants and at the same time wants what he has or produced. For example, if a farmer has yam and wants share in exchange, he will look for somebody who has share and at the same time wants yam before exchange can take place. Exchange was clumsy, time-consuming, and very difficult. 2. Some goods to be exchanged were not easily portable. If the goods to be exchanged are bulky or heavy, there is a problem of how to carry them about or carry them home. 3. Problem of exchange rate. There is no unit of exchange or commodity standard of value, so there was problem of adequate valuation of goods to be exchanged. Example, if yam farmer was lucky enough to find carpenter who was ready to exchange his goods with his, the problem then is how many yams should be given to the carpenter in exchange for one chair. This could lead to cheating. Exchange, therefore, was based on mutual agreement and not on relative value of goods. 4. There was the problem of saving commodities for future use, that is, storage facilities. Under this system, it was difficult to store perishable goods as wealth, since this would lead to loss. It was expensive to store commodities such as cow as wealth, since they had to be fed. The 5th point is the problem of borrowing and buying on credit, that is, deferred payment. Under barter system, lending and borrowing involves a lot of problems. Since repayments would be in form of goods, there was no guarantee that the item paid back would be of the same size, color, shape, and so on and so forth as the one borrowed. Therefore, deferred payment was discouraged. Credit transactions were largely handicapped. Then we have the 6th point, which is lack of specialization and division of labor. During the barter system, demand for goods was never certain, and so specialization and division of labor and large-scale production were rare. Then finally, we have the 7th point, which is problem of indivisibility. Indivisibility. Under the barter system, there is a problem of indivisibility of some goods to be exchanged, especially when owner of a large indivisible commodity wants to exchange his goods for small item. For example, if owner of a cow wants some pepper, he will find it very difficult to effect an exchange. He will not want to exchange his whole cow for some pepper. Even when he kills the cow, part of the cow cannot be exchanged with pepper, except he finds other people who are willing to accept parts of his cow in exchange for what they have. By so doing, he incurs damage or loss if he wants to effect an exchange. So with this, my dear students, we have come to the end of this lesson. But before we conclude, let us look at the evaluation questions. 1. Define money. Define money. 2. Define trade by barter. Define trade by barter. 3. Mention and explain at least 5 defects or problems of barter system of exchange. So, send your answers to my WhatsApp contact 0803 485 6603. For further inquiries, questions, also of further clarification on the topic taught, you can still send your questions to the same WhatsApp number 0803 485 6603. Thanks for listening.